All right, so I'll start again. All right, hi everyone. This is our presentation for the job shadow that we did in January. We had the Intercontinental in Kansas City at the Plaza, and we're just recording our voices, but if you need to see our faces, we can re-record it. So I'm Johanna.
Mention.
So like I said, we did the Intercontinental, which is a 371 room hotel, which is located on the Country Club Plaza, which is a historic shopping, dining, and entertainment district in Kansas City, Missouri.
And I'm going to talk about the first 5 strategies. And the first strategy is pay more attention to the maintenance of all kinds of equipment in the hotel. So during our stay, there was something wrong with their air conditioner in the hotel. So on the first morning, we made the observations and the studies at the front desk. And there is some guests that call the front desk to report the problem of their air conditioning. The temperature is very low, and also when we go back to our home in the night, the room temperature is also very low. So we call the front desk, and the employees come, the maintenance come to fix it, but it really takes a long time. There's a example from website. Is called the InfoSpeak. The article is talk about how the utilities preventive maintenance in the hotel, and the maintenance manager should focus the team's efforts on specific areas of the hotel, and an investment in preventive maintenance is necessary of seasonal because of the seasonal variation in traffic, and because of their impact on customer certifications. And the second strategy is more clearly mark all kinds of signs inside the hotel. Um, in such a big environment, signage is very important because most of the guests are probably their first time to this hotel. So without a clear sign or clear mark to show them the way, whether they're directly from the front entrance or from the parking lot, guests maybe feel confused to choose which floor or where they want to go. And on our first day at the hotel, we entered the hotel from the parking lot, in which is several floors with an entry leading to the elevator. But when we returned to the parking lot to get our luggage, we were not sure which floor to take the elevator to. And because of the structure of the hotel, there are 2 elevators in the hotel. So some guests will, with a poor sense of direction, are likely to be lost in the lobby and don't know which elevator that they need to choose. And there's an example in Roca Roten in South Florida. They have really good room signs, evacuations, map signs, wall signs, and direction signs. Their logo is very convenient and can be installed quickly and is easy to understand. The third one is add more convenience facilities and service for the disabled. During the convention for the hearing impaired and when working at the front desk, we discovered that there were some people they need a translator to help them solve some problems, but the hotel only have 1 people. So if there are several guests there, we can now just understand what the guest is talking about. So it will take a long time to solve all of their problems. And there's an example in Hilton Hotel. The entrance to the hotel and the conference room are room take up for wheelchair travelers, and the doorbells have been set up at some entrance. And a special staff member will help the guests open the door by running twice. The hotel's lobby has more lounge area for the waiting. The front desk department also has a high kind of the desk It's good for the people who who sitting on the wheelchair. And in some place of the entertainment also fully consider the guest access, such as hotels, bar, and clubs. The number four is allocate more marketing budget during the peak booking season. As a manager, they need to know when the hotel is busy and when it is stable and when it's the very low season. And then they can use the data to adjust the hotel's budget. The hotel's location is a big advantage. It's in the heart of the Kansas City, next to the huge shopping plaza. The transportation is very convenient. The hotel should make full use of these advantages to win the maximum benefit for the hotel itself. For example, if the hotel is located near a place that people can gaming in where it is close to the beach, like Shade Hotel at Manhattan Beach in Los Angeles and the River Mountain Lodge next to the Copper Mountain in Colorado. The peak book season will be very different. As the marketing personnel of the hotel, they need to make the hotel's business plan according to the hotel's location and their own advantages. The large amount of the advertising spent during the hotel's very busy season of the year, and that's the best value. And number five is always think ahead of the guest. Um, all the staff all the staff need to think before, during, and after the guest stay. All aspects of the service should be done well. The work of each department in the hotel should complement each other. For example, the the hotel guests are dissatisfied with their location of the room or view of their room, but the hotel currently don't have any other rooms to change. In the hotel staff, they can try to figure out what the guest plan and when the guest will leave, and they can leave like a special gift or like a postcard in the guest room. And in such a service may not be just a reason for the guest to return to the hotel, but it can have a lasting effect because the guest will feel like the hotel really pay attention on her feeling and on her suggestion.
Okay, so for strategy number 6, I did to make the money drop more accurate. So when we were touring with accounting, the lady said that almost every time that people drop cash, it ends up being wrong, and then she has to like hunt them down and figure out why the money is not correct. So our recommendation is to have the managers count the money inside and sign the back of it before they drop it. And so this only takes a few minutes for the managers and the employee to do, but it takes a really long time for accounting to like track down the person, especially if it happens on a Friday, then they have to wait until Monday. And so we just think it would be easier if the manager checked the money before dropping it, because then the manager is accountable. So obviously he wants the money to be accurate. And so at Margaritaville at the lake, they have the employee fill out a cash drop form, the manager sign it, tape it, and then when you're dropping it into the safe, you have to have another employee watch you do that and sign that they saw that you did that. So it just makes everything very accurate. So our strategy 7 is to renovate the basement. So when we were touring, I think that everyone could notice that the lobby and the dining center and whatnot was really renovated and fancy. And then when you walk down to the basement, it's still like dark with dark wood and kind of an old carpet. And so we just recommend that they, especially right now, since chances are they're not really having many people come inside the hotel, we were thinking that they should just renovate the basement. And one of the places I found was the New York Hilton Midtown, and their conference center is like very bright and airy and sort of gives you like an uplifting feel and makes the space look a lot larger because it's all like very bright and happy colors. So for strategy number 8, we said just to keep the outside of the hotel clean, because when we were touring the lobby, the front of it looks really nice, but when you go to the back where the pool is, they still have like all of their chairs with their like cushions and everything still out there. And so the chairs were knocked over because it had just had a snowstorm, and all the furniture was covered in like dirty brown snow. And so our recommendation is just to either bring the chairs inside or at least stack them out of sight of the guests, and then maybe spend some time just like shoveling or trying to get rid of some of the snow from back there. So our strategy number 9 is going to be to charge for parking. So when we toured with accounting, Richard, which was the main guy, had mentioned that since they don't charge for parking, non-guests park there all the time and then just walk over to the plaza. And so we recommend putting in a gate, and people have to prove that they're a guest of the hotel. So either swiping a room key or saying their name and room number, something like that, so that they're allowed to park there. And it's going to try to get rid of some of the non-guests. And then the one that I used was the Marriott St. Louis Grand, and they charge $30 a day for parking or $40 for valet. So obviously that brings in like a ton of revenue for the hotel. So we just thought that would be a good idea for them to do. And then for our last one, we just said have more staffing for check-in and check-out, because when we toured, we were with John, who was the concierge, and there was a few different moments that he would get super, super busy, and he would just like leave us because we weren't helping him. Um, and so he was just having to run around the entire hotel with no help. And there was at one point, he just like stuck us behind the desk and asked us to answer questions, even though we obviously don't work there and have no clue what we were doing. And then we also thought that they should staff the front desk a little bit better, because there was only one girl by herself the entire time, especially because that conference was going on and she didn't know sign language. So she was struggling to communicate, which means that the lines were building up. And so we just thought that they needed to plan more properly and have more people working. And we recommended at least 4 people to be working in the lobby between the concierge and the front desk, just so that checkout or check-in times, that the guests aren't waiting so long. And then that's it. So thank you for listening. You have anything to say?